Okay, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We're playing Blue-Red Delver once again. We won the roll here, so let's see if we can get our opener up. So we have Burst, Serum Visions, Young Parameter, Double Delver, which looks pretty nice. Quite a nice little opener. So we run out of Delver. Opponent plays Temple of Enlightenment and a Lotus Bloom, which means he's probably on Ad Nauseam, if I was to guess. So we have a Snapcaster off the top, which obviously isn't going to flip our Delver, unfortunately. And it's going to run out our second. Oh no, we run out Young Parameter. Definitely tempting to run out Delver and then cast Serum Visions, but I suppose this way we can use all our spells now to make more tokens. He's probably not going to have much in the way of sort of sweepers, etc. So it's a nice way to get a lot of damage through. I still kind of feel like playing the second Delver and then setting up the flip with Serum Visions might have been better. We attacked for 6 that turn, but oh well. Opponent plays Phyrexian Unlife, which is pretty bad for us. It's going to be pretty difficult to kill him, despite our pretty nice state at the moment. So Bloom comes down. Opponent Peer Through Depths, so that means he probably doesn't have the Ad Nauseam, so I'm going to counter that with Spell Snare. Ooh. For some reason we just shot through a whole lot of stuff. I think I've targeted him with Burst, and then now I'm going to set up the attack. I actually should have Burst first, because the thing which will come up in the rest of the matches, which I sometimes forget about, Phyrexian Unlife, until they're on 0 life, they don't take any poison damage, so this attack, even though 1-2 damage, would have only actually put him to minus something, some number, and he wouldn't have taken any poison, which means he just wouldn't have died. So I would have been better off trying to burst him and then attack. As it turns out, I think, yeah, he would have still been able to Angel's Grace and save himself a turn at least. So this actually kind of worked out quite well for us, seems so we didn't end up wasting the burst. So good draws for their turn, didn't find Ad Nauseam. We burst him on the end of his turn, and then we would have been able to finish him up with the creatures we've got. We also have a Snapcaster to flashback a burn spell if required. So yeah, managed to just wouldn't eke that one out. If the counting that Peer Through Depth seems pretty important. If you'd managed to find that Ad Nauseam, then we would have just been finished there. So let's go on to game 2. This is our opener. We've got Probe, Pyromancer, Bolt, and a Blood Moon. Brought in Blood Moons from the sideboard, since I felt like they might be quite good here. He does have Pentad, Prism, etc., and Lotus Bloom, but potentially good for us. Didn't seem to be running too many basics. Don't fancy running out of Probe here, since I can use it to make a token with off my Pyromancer, so happy to do that. We'll Probe now though, even though we've got a second Pyromancer. What did we see? Looks like we missed that bit, unfortunately. Sorry about that. There's Unlife again, which again is somewhat annoying. We'll set the 3 here. I'm just going to cast a Blood Moon. It seems an opportune time. Opponent has access to white mana, but going to turn off these two and type these 2 temples. There's a Prism, annoyingly. I have 2 prisms, so we can still make some coloured mana, but we have quite a nice suite of counter spells going at the moment. Going to run out the second Pyromancer to increase our clock. Bolt here, got to put it down to 9. Put Teachings for Ad Nauseam. get to attacking down to 2. Opponent plays silence on the beginning of our turn, which will do it, unfortunately. Really wanted to get this Counterflux to work, but unfortunately we're 1 land off that working out for us. It would have been pretty sweet if we'd been able to Counterflux his Ad Nauseam, as I would have easily finished off the game, seeing as though he'd have had to use up all his coloured mana from the prisms. But yeah, silence will do it. I tried to mana leak it to see if he'll be scared of my open mana, but he still goes for it all the same. And unfortunately I don't have the answer that is required to beat the Ad Nauseam. So Ad Nauseam, if you haven't seen this combo before anyway, might as well show you off. So this Friction on life obviously stops him from dying from going to 0 life. He spends all of his life drawing his whole deck with Ad Nauseam. So here it is, throwing all his cards. Can I look at his deck at the very least, I suppose. It's got some packs. Use fairly standard stuff. Eventually we should see the finisher for the deck. Haven't seen it quite yet, unless it's in his hand, I suppose, which it might be. So there you go, it must be in his hand. Exiles the Simian Spirit Guides to cast Lightning Storm, and then discards all the lands in his hand to deal the extra damage. So it's 3 times the number of lands you discard. So yeah, fairly easy to finish us off from there. And that was that game. So in this one, start off with a no-lander, and then we find this hand, which not the most exciting, but it's decent. Opponent leads off with a Gemstone Cavern, exiling a Sleight of Hand, which is going to lead off with Steam Vents. There's Pentad Prism, which is what we brought this Shattering Spree in for. I'm going to play Delver and then Shattering Spree Prism. See my opponent off mana. Actually has a second Pentad Prism, and we could have Shattering Spree plus Replicate, but we can actually, after flipping the Delver and taking, we can actually use our Snapcaster to use the Shattering Spree once more to get rid of this Prism. So it doesn't work out too badly for us. We'll place Unlife again, which is pretty annoying. Like I say, difficult enough game going down from 20 life, but even more than that is particularly annoying. But we've got a nice bit of aggression going. Put our opponent down to 2 here. Opponent's going to spell Sleight of Hand. Indicates that he probably doesn't have Ad Nauseam, which is obviously very good for us. I didn't want him to find anything, so I spell pierced here, meaning that he's going to have to tap low, and so even if he found Ad Nauseam, he wouldn't be able to cast it this turn. So I figured that bought me a turn. I think this is what I mentioned earlier with the Phyrexian Unlife, is that if you attack... Oh no, he actually ends up paying Angel's Grace. I cast Blood Moon, which seems really nice. Makes life very difficult. This is the turn that happens. So I attack with my guys. I leave Grim Lavamancer up, and I should have activated Grim Lavamancer first to put him below 0 before attacking. That way we would have been able to do all infect damage. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and we'd be able to win. So we won a turn shorter. We're a turn short of what we would actually be able to winning. Our opponent actually has exiled a Lotus Bloom, which is presumably why he's not conceded just yet. And he's actually going to hardcast the Simian Spirit Guide here, but it's not going to do him much good. So I bought a guide, so it's not particularly necessary. And then we're going to attack in and win with the infect damage. So yeah, this was an interesting matchup. I don't get to run into Ad Nauseam all that often, and it is quite a cool deck, but we managed to win through here. Got a nice combination of sort of counter spells and other disruption to play against this deck, which is nice for us. Seems like a fairly reasonable matchup. A little bit of a race, obviously, but I think our deck has enough disruption and ways to irritate their combo that works out pretty well as a matchup for us.